This video is for those of you that are on TikTok and have been too scared to do a live. I am speaking directly to you. I have been doing TikTok lives for the last month and a half, maybe. There's so much that I've learned from doing them, but also things that I want to share that I think most people are terrified of and why you should be doing TikTok lives. Hi, my name is Maia. I am a social media manager and digital creative agency owner of Creative Evolution, and we do things all creative and digital, from social media management, content creation, to helping UGC creators to better their career. So TikTok live, I have spoken to some of my friends and they are daunted by going live on TikTok. Now, there are reasons why. I understand why it's quite daunting. My first live was very daunting. There's such a misconception that it's only really meant to be for brands or those that are high content creators or have some sort of gravitas towards them that they should be going live. I have done lives where I am wanting to work and I actually, because I'm working from home, I end up doing a live and it feels like I've got almost like colleagues, which sounds so sad, but I get to talk to people on my community. Lives are there to help you build your community and share a bit more of your personality. The posts are great and I'm not discounting that, but being able to be live is your rawest self and can bring in such a new audience, new potential eyes, and also your target audience depending on what your live is focused on. There are steps, I guess I would say, to setting you up for success for your first live. Firstly is beat that fear. Live, I would treat as being on FaceTime with a friend. I know it's a lot of people that can be on there, but when you're on live, people come in and go, and it's better to treat it like you are just speaking to a friend, and it's not that deep. Like it's not that big of a deal to go live. It is literally like a FaceTime. I feel like a lot of the time the pressure is there because you're picturing it as thousands of people are going to be viewing this live at the same time and you've got nothing to say. It's not true. One, there's likely to be fewer people than you think on live, depending on the time that you choose, depending on what your current audience is, depending on the topic that you cover. You're ending up speaking to a small amount of people at a certain time. Yes, it will fluctuate how many people end up seeing it, but I just think it's one of those things that isn't as daunting as you think when you get started. Secondly, the biggest thing that I've noticed, or fear that I've noticed, is I don't know what to say. You know what? You don't actually have to know what to say. No one said that you did. A lot of people on lives, and I have noticed the difference in myself when I'm doing something on the live. If that is me working in the background and playing some music, then it feels that sort of what feels like an awkward gap, that awkward silent noise where no one's engaging or no one's on the live, that you're doing something anyway, that you're not really paying mind to watching the figures go up or down or watching if people are commenting. There's people that do it while they're getting ready, so they do their makeup while they're doing it. So it's almost like, again, chatting to a friend on FaceTime while you're getting ready, like doing your makeup and being like, hey guys, I'm using this, or just being able to show what you're getting ready for, talk about the event that you're getting ready for, or the day that you have ahead, or something you did over the weekend if it's Monday and you're sipping your coffee. Some people eat their dinner on there. I'm not one of those people because I just feel awkward when I'm eating. I just know that I'm gonna look like just shoveling food in my face. Because I'm such a foodie, I'm like, yum. I don't want to be having anyone see that. But do something in the live, if that's painting, drawing, writing, working, just playing music, singing if you really want to sing, knitting, crochet. Just find something to do, something to distract you from the fact that you are live. I feel like the focus is then on what you're doing, and then those awkward spaces don't feel awkward anymore because you're still doing what you want to do. The other option is choosing a specific topic to talk about. So you could either have the theme as being whatever you're doing. So I'm doing paint by numbers and people tune in to watch to see you go through the process or whatever. Or you can do it that you're talking about a certain topic, nightmare holiday, and you're just talking about this nightmare holiday you had, or sharing my thoughts on the film industry. I've worked in the film industry. I want to talk about it. People ask questions in the topic and outside of the topic, but the reason why sometimes a topic, a along with doing something can help is because you're speaking directly to who you want your target audience to be. So for example, me doing the co-working spaces while I'm working is more because I want to engage with those that are business owners, those that are hustlers or are self-employed, and that's where my target audience currently is. So speaking to your target audience is important. Now, choosing the time that you go live, there are things that I think you would pay note to. If you're trying to reach a US audience, you are less likely to get them at certain times of the day because of the time difference. But if you are more thinking, I just want to jump on live when I'm not thinking about it, can't overthink it, just fancy doing it now, just do it. I don't want it to be another barrier that you're thinking about your audience so much that you're not then going on live. So that's number two, making sure that you are doing something in your live, have a topic that you're talking about to reach that target audience, but also people that are probably your people, your community. Number three, I would say, which is going to be my last point, do not feel obliged to answer every question. There is a lot of things that are said on lives or people that say things that you don't necessarily have to answer. I know you're on live and you might answer a few questions, but I've had it before. For whatever reason, my lives at the minute are capturing single men who are in Africa. I don't know if the algorithm is pushing me for that continent, but it seems like the majority of my audience are from Africa. I also, to be fair, I do play a lot of African music in the background of my videos, so I feel like maybe that's what's drawing people in actuality. But it means that I get asked a lot if I'm married, if I am single, if I live with anyone, if I've ever dated an African man. Like, there's just a lot of questions. If I have kids, if I would consider hiring someone that doesn't live in the country, like just lots of things that I don't necessarily feel comfortable answering all those questions. Some of them I do sometimes, depending on my mood. Some of them I'm like, this is really inappropriate and I don't really want to answer that question. So that's where doing something can be quite helpful. If I'm working and I've put on my live that work, I've had before, why are you ignoring me? Why aren't you answering my questions? Because the topic is work for my live. You can see me working. I've said I'm working. That's why sometimes I'm not looking at the screen. There's just certain things, and I have seen questions pop up and sort of pretended I didn't see them and just like carried on. You can also mute people if they're being really inappropriate, which I've had before. You can block people, you can report people. So don't feel pressured to suddenly answer all these questions just because you're live. You're in a more vulnerable spot because it's, you know, your reaction straight away from seeing it. You don't have to be rude. You can just politely go, that's quite personal, I don't really fancy talking about that, and remove it or move on. People do spam. If they really want a question asked, they can sometimes spam and you can mute them. It can mute them for the whole live. But please don't feel daunted by people's comments, because it's not always the case, but sometimes it can be the case that you get one little rogue person that's just decided to infiltrate and be a bit much. That's not to put you off at all. I have also found that during my biggest viewing time, I have met so many people that have followed me that are certainly part of the community that I'm trying to create and are definitely wouldn't have necessarily found me in any other way. So I think there's such an advantage to going live, not just monetization, not just brands, not just to chat about anything, but just to be able to start building up your community. I get to show my personality more in my lives than I do in my content, because a lot of my content is really short. A lot of content on TikTok anyway is really short, and you get that chance to talk about things that you might not necessarily post content about. Like, I've ranted about having a bad coffee, or I've talked about going to film school, my experience there, or something I did on the weekend, or I love having braids, but sometimes my scalp really hurts from having braids. Like, just nonsense, like kind of chit chat, but it's fine on live. It's fine on a live. Like, you can talk about anything. Again, just to hone it in, treat it like you're FaceTiming your best mate or a mate if you don't want to get too deep. The other thing that I would recommend if you are doing it for the first time and you did want to treat it like you are FaceTiming a friend, go on live live with a friend. Go on live with a friend. I am due to go on live with one of my friends, and we're going to be talking about one of the shows we watch, because it's an easy topic. We chat to each other about it anyway. We might as well talk about it on TikTok, on a TikTok live, and some people might resonate with it, and we can have a whole conversation and build both of our communities. As simple as that. Stuff that I'm already talking about, might as well do a live for it. Lives help build your community. They help show your personality. They also help the algorithm see that you're using every tool in the platform. If you are that way inclined, if you want to grow. I have got most of my followers, like a lot of my followers, from doing TikTok lives, if I'm being honest. Content is a slower burn depending on how you do it, but I post once a day on TikTok and then do lives as and when I feel like it. I end up doing about 2 or 3 in a week, just because, like I said, a lot of the time I'm working and I have it in the background on the side just showing me working, and I answer the few questions when I can. But I still, one of my biggest lives where I got the most views, the most engagement, was when I was working. I wasn't even looking at the screen. So this is why I'm saying don't feel daunted, because there's so much there. I was literally probably like this, la 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 la, read it, answer a question, blah blah blah. I'm Maya. Like, it wasn't stressful, it wasn't that deep, and I ended up getting so many. I got 166 followers from that, and it wasn't even that long of a live. So please don't be discouraged to do live because it feels daunting. Use it as an experience. As time goes on, you also realize that the same people come in your lives at the start, and you can have conversations that you're having before. So I've got someone that comes on almost every one of my lives, and we've been having a back and forth conversation about different things. They want to work remotely. I'm like, how's the job search going? But it builds that rapport and shows your other, like the other people viewing, that that's the relationship you have with your community. And those people will also likely share your live with their people. Your friends get notified when you go live. Again, don't be daunted by this, because it is a bit nerve-wracking when, weirdly, speaking to strangers is fine, but speaking to people I know, I feel a bit awkward about. But when my friends have joined, I've been like really giggly and been like, hey guys, like, I can't believe you guys are on my live. And then it's actually kind of fun because you get to talk to your friends and they help bring out your personality. So I had one of my co-working like lives. I had all my old friends from my last agency that I was at join, and I was like, guys, I miss you so much. And we just had like a full-on like moment in the live, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. So I highly recommend going live and just do it. Try it. If you don't like it, you can end it within minutes. Don't be disheartened by the amount of different tools and buttons. You don't need to know all of that. You can just go live and just start from the basic of going live. Hi guys, I'm Maya. Start rambling about your story. Do a painting session. You don't even have to show your face. You know, there are so many options there that I think it's way more payoff than the fear of going live. So all that to say, just do it. Just do it. I look forward to seeing you guys live. My TikTok is at Maia Kipping, same as my other socials. So please feel free to reach out if you have found this interesting and you're going live. Share it with me. I would love to join, and I can help you with conversation. If you want, I can add a little bit of engagement, be like, hey guy, hey. But please let me know that you're going live or what you've done to push yourself out of your comfort zone. I would love to know in the comments below. If you found this helpful or just fun to listen to me ramble about my challenges going live, then please give this a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye guys.